So next you want to create your avatar. I used to sell bath and body products. First time I got exposed to avatar, I was about 20-some years old. I went to Sally's Beauty Supply in Denton, Texas, corporate office. And I went in to make a sale. I think it was 28, 29. And I'm pitching to my buyer what I got to sell. And the ladies are there, and she says, well, I don't know if Rebecca would buy that or not. I think Rebecca would rather have something in a pink case, or I think Rebecca wouldn't put that in her hair. I think Rebecca wouldn't do this, or Rebecca wouldn't do that. And I'm like, who the hell's Rebecca? Why am I talking to y'all? Who the hell is Rebecca? I want to talk to Rebecca. Let's get her out here and talk to her. And I literally kind of asked that eventually as we went through. And they said, oh, Rebecca's our avatar. And they pulled a sheet out, and they had a picture of this woman of the age that they liked, and a whole dossier on her of who she was, where she worked, how much money she made, all that. You're never going to have a perfect avatar because people's businesses take in customers from all over. But you do have commonalities in your customer. And you don't usually create that. It just sort of creates itself, right? Ben's got a really good idea of who his avatar is. What's her name? You got a name for her, right? Brooke? Yeah, Brooke. Some businesses can have multiple avatars that you can write multiple messages to those avatars, right? Political campaigns have become incredibly sophisticated around this. Now, I don't want to confuse you here because if you don't have any avatar, you need to get one, right? But once you get one, you need to start thinking about outside your avatar. Like elections right now are won primarily by catering to issue voters, right? So like, for instance, I can tell you, Donald Trump is very appealing to uneducated Southern truck drivers, right? For instance, I think it's because they listen to a lot of radio. I'm not kidding, I really do. But he's also incredibly appealing to people that live in my partner Roland's neighborhood in Rancho Santa Fe, California, where the average income is over $1 million a year. Because why? They won't pay less taxes, right? But the message they send to the truck driver is certainly not the same message they send to Roland. They send different messages to both. They can be appealing to both, but they have two different avatars, right? The Obama campaign had 3,000 avatars, if you can imagine that. It was incredibly sophisticated. So here are some of the basics: age, sex, demographics, economics, psychographics. And I would say now, honestly, I haven't put this in a presentation, political leanings are becoming a character, because you can't talk to a conservative the same way you talk to a liberal. Not today. It doesn't work. And everybody is firmly in a column. Almost everyone is firmly in a column, right? So if you start talking to conservatives the same way you talk to liberals or vice versa, you're likely going to lose that candidate, even if you're selling them hairspray. So this is an idea we use this lady in our beauty brand. Her name is Allison. So where'd I get Allison's picture? I just look up, this is what I always do. I look up Allison 41 birthday, 41st birthday, and that's how I'll find a photo usually. So that's how I found this photo. Once I name her. She's 41, female, she's married, husband's Brian, 2 children, a boy and a girl, lives in the Bay Area, co-owner, founder of Boardroom Burlap. She's a fashion person. So this is the kind of person that we wanted to attract, right? An avatar can work both ways for you, right? Your business will naturally attract a certain avatar. You don't know what it's going to be. Or you can set out to attract a certain avatar, right? So most people that I know that are more successful begin to hone the avatar to get their ideal customer, the customer they're really looking for. Like Richie. Richie doesn't want to talk to a guy starting off selling an ebook. You know, it's irrelevant. He's going to waste a lot of marketing dollars. So he wants to only talk to a high volume, high transactional person, right? The question is, are there enough of those people in your market, right? So there's 2 schools of thought to that. There's either spear fishing or net fishing, right? I'm much more of a net fisher, right? So a lot of people go out with a spear and they say, I only want whales. I only want these big guys, right? I think it's more efficient in today's marketplace, although I'm beginning to change my mind, frankly, as advertising rates keep going up. Because advertising online was so cheap that you could throw a lot of people in the net, sort and sift, and at least get them to pay for themselves. It's not necessarily true anymore. And you're going to catch some tuna in the net. The odds of you catching tuna in a net are much higher if you're casting a big wide net than they are if you're throwing spears, right? Spears are more efficient, right? But you got to be able to see the tuna. And a lot of markets, depending on the market that you're in, like tattoo artists are a great market. But for tattoos, a great market because his person is from 50 feet away identifiable, right? His probably best customer. I'm guessing your best customers are already heavily tattooed or no? He's heavily tattooed and he's of a high income level. Like I'm just thinking about getting tattooed right now. I used to tattoo years ago, by the way, if you can believe that. Yeah, I was an airbrush artist and did tattoo for a year, but I only have one little tattoo. So I'm thinking of getting tattoos. You know why? My kids are gone. My kids have left. I didn't want to have a lot of tattoos and let them think that it was okay to go get a lot of tattoos when they were really young. Now they're grown, and I realize I never liked them that much to start with. So I don't care what they do. Yeah. So, but seriously, I really just don't give a shit, right? Go for it. So now I might get a cool tattoo, maybe more than one, because it's that time in my life. I'm not going to have to go to apply for a job somewhere. I'm not going to have to, you could build a campaign around the affluent rebel. You know what I mean? The Frank Kearns, right? The guy that can't afford whatever he wants to afford. But he's probably wants you to fly to him, doing more of a tattoo concierge service where you could charge probably 10 times more. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. I would bet you there's a market. I'd almost be sure of it. Because I know a lot of the celebrity tattoo artists here in Vegas have huge waiting lists. People fly in on private jets to get tattooed by some of these people, right? At ridiculous rates. And in your business, the more expensive you are, the more desirable you are for the most part. Because I don't want a half-ass guy tattooing me, right? Certain thing, I want to pay full price for a vasectomy. I want to pay full price for a tattoo. Any of those things, those are important to me. It's crazy. Like Neil Patel's a good friend of mine. Last month we talked about he got 99,000 leads from his blog in 1 month, all organic. They talked to 300 of them and made 6 sales. They didn't talk to 98,700 of them because they just weren't worth it. His minimum engagement is $100,000 a month. And you know what he's doing for $100,000 a month? Not much more than what my agency does for 7. He's just talking to the right people. He chose the spear method, but not really. Right? He's got a net. He's got a big net in a way, but he brings them in organically and then just spears the ones that he really, really, really wants. A note about traffic source. So list selection is 60% of the success of an offer, says Gary Halbert, who was pretty doggone smart. I believe this is true. I also believe the inverse is true. So I'm not helping you guys. I'm giving you some contradictory information today. I think that as internet marketers, we have begun to over-target.